Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Friday, 20th day of May, 12th day of Iyar. Here we go. We're continuing one last halacha on the idea of that half Shmoneh Esrai that some places do. The way it works is that it'll most often be at Mincha, always at Mincha. What'll happen is the Chazan will say Shmoneh Esrai before everybody else. He'll get to the end of Kedusha and say the bracha of Hakel HaKadosh. Then he continues quietly, and then everybody else starts from the beginning of Shmoneh Esrai. That's like a half repetition of Shmoneh Esrai. It's shortened down as Mincha. And we told you yesterday, you're not supposed to do this too often. If you just feel like doing it because you feel like in your setting Mincha's taking too long, that's not a good excuse. If you feel like, well, we're at a wedding and everyone wants to go back to eating and let's just get this done fast, that's not a good excuse either. One of the only common places where they allow this kind of continuously is in yeshivas, where there's different reasons why people say it's allowable at mincha of a yeshiva. One of the reasons they say it is because there's a lot of learning going on in the yeshiva, and a long chazaras hashatz gets in the way. A long repetition of Shmoneh Esrei gets in the way of some learning. Not all rabbis agree with that. They say, yeah, but the repetition of Shmoneh Esrei has enormous value, and it's not considered a pain to do that. So there are other explanations for why. One other explanation is some say that right before mincha, a lot of the boys heard a very complicated shiur from their rabbis in the yeshiva, and then to do a long repetition of Shmoneh Esrei afterwards, they're not going to be able to concentrate on the long repetition of Shmoneh Esrei. Therefore, the half one is allowed in a yeshiva. The most common thing that people quote is the name of Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky, who said that the repetition of Shmoneh Esrei was usually instituted for where there were people who didn't know how to say the Shmoneh Esrei, and when you're in a yeshiva, that's not the situation. When you're in a yeshiva, everybody knows. They're all wise people studying Torah, and therefore that would be the only place where it would be acceptable. So don't be quick to allow the half Shmoneh Esrei wherever you please. We'll never do it at Shachris, of course, and that's because at Shachris, if you heard the Chazan's repetition first, then that would mean you would sing Go Al Yisrael, that last bracha right before Shmoneh Esrei, and then you didn't say your Shmoneh Esrei right away. And that's not appropriate because Go Al Yisrael is supposed to be directly tied to your Shmoneh Esrei, which happens the next second. That's not going to happen if you did the Chazan's repetition first. Other things to consider, that if you're at a place like where it's Hanukkah, and you often do the half Shmoneh Esrei, a lot of people say that on Hanukkah you should try to repeat the whole Shmoneh Esrei at Mincha so that the congregation can hear the Al Hanisim. Other places where they say that you should do the full repetition of Shmoneh Esrei would be on fast days because you want to hear the Chazan be able to say Anenu for everybody. I know a place in Baltimore where they do the half Shmoneh Esrei every day, but then they don't do the half Shmoneh Esrei on Rosh Chodesh, because this way in the full Shmoneh Esrei repetition of the Chazan, they get to hear Yalav Yavo from the Chazan. So bear those things in mind because you should not be skimping on what you're going to hear of. You want to hear the Chazan say Al Anisim, etc. So a lot of people say not to do this on Hanukkah, not to do this on fast days, etc. And lastly, I want to tell you that if you are one of those people who are strict about this and don't usually ever allow yourself this luxury of the half Shmoneh Esrei at Mincha, but you're at a place suddenly davening with some people who are doing it, you may join in with them. You don't have to separate away from the congregation and do differently than that congregation's doing. If you're with them and they're doing that, you may join them. Thanks for logging on. Log on again after Shabbos for more. Bye-bye.